So hello and welcome to another episode of Bloke Gaming. Today I'm gonna answer a question that I've been asked a few times and I've seen many videos on and different things, but it's kind of like the big one, and that is, what is Entropia, and is it worth playing in 2025? Now, I think I'm going to approach this from a slightly different perspective. Um, I'm not going to talk about the financial side of it until a little bit later. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by talking about the game. Yes, I know, sorry. Um, Unpopular, but I'm going to talk about the game. So, the game itself it's a very grindy, old school MMO. It's almost not an RPG, it's just an MMO, sandbox game, right? Oh, am I going to shoot this one? So, why? So, clearly, I'm making videos on it, I'm playing it almost daily. I mean, clearly, I enjoy playing it. So, what is it that makes the game appealing to me? Now, my first ever MMO, because that also wasn't an RPG, was Ultima Online. And this game shares a lot of similarities with Ultima Online. So the first thing is it's very grindy. So if you want to level up skills in anything and become proficient in anything and make your niche in anything, you need to do that thing a lot of times before you get good at it. And where maybe in the good old days of Ultima you could craft something 3, 4, 500 times and you'd be ready for the next thing to be able to craft. In Entropia, it takes you 10, 25, 50,000 times before you're ready for the next thing to craft. I mean, it really is kind of like next level to the level of grindiness that Ultima Online was. So that's the first thing. Second thing about Entropia that's very similar to Ultima Online is the planets. So in Ultima, there was a lot of communities that were built around the towns, but the communities were player based. They were not really driven by the game itself. Everything was player based. So, in Entropia, you have some very strong communities based around certain things, certain players, right? I mean, I don't know all of them, honestly. I know Next Island. I've spent a lot of time there, and the gang there is really friendly and really good. And it's kind of, I think it's a Tracer and Cat that drive everything that happens on Next Island. You've got different groups. You've got like the Nimbus group who and that runs the Sweat Circle with Hecalion or whatever. But anyway, it's very community driven, and you really need to lock into the community to really enjoy playing this game, because you're going to be spending a lot of time grinding. You're going to be spending a lot of time hunting and crafting, and if you've got nowhere to sell your goods, you've got no one to communicate with, it becomes very old very fast. Um, so that's there two of the similarities. The next one is housing. So one of the things you have in this game is housing is scarce. In Ultima Online, the plots were scarce. And if you want a good house, you have to pay good money for it. And it was the same in Ultima. The only difference was, because money didn't equate to a USD, all you did was you just gathered your gold. You gathered your gold, you built up your gold slowly over time, and then eventually you could afford a little 9 by 9 square house, or 12 by 6, or whatever it was. I can't remember all the sizes. And then there were certain plots of land where you could build castles, and of course they were all taken. So if you wanted to get a castle, you had to get it from somebody else, and so you would go out, you'd build up a lot of money, and there was actually a secondary housing market in Ultima Online. Now, Entropia puts that all in game. You know, you have the auction house, you have all the systems for, you know, trading and everything else. So it keeps it all in game. And but fundamentally, they're very, very similar old school MMO sandbox games where you kind of make your own goals, you decide which route you want to take, you decide what role you're going to play in the community, and yeah, you just keep doing the same thing until you get good at it. Now, the one thing about Entropia is it really does take it to the next level. So, as I said, in games like Ultima, you had to, you know, you would do something 500 times or 1,000 times to get good at it. And the materials you could usually farm and craft relatively, it just took time. It didn't take the equivalent of money, except you actually have to pay a monthly fee to play Ultima, in the same way that you do Warcraft, and there's several games that still charge monthly fees. So what is appealing about this game? So the first thing is it's a game that's going to take you a long time to master. And it's a very, you know, again, going back to one of those old school games, I often liken it to Burning Crusade, World of Warcraft, where running the numbers and optimizing your character and constantly looking for the item that's going to help you optimize just that little bit better, that's what this game is all about. It appeals to the, I think, the old school complicated MMO player. And again, I know Warcraft's an MMORPG, but by the time you get to endgame, it's just MMO, right? And you're just basically farming a bunch of stuff to position yourself to do raids and get more gear and to progress. But effectively, it's the same thing. You know, you're just investing time, you're investing your effort, and you're investing, you know, time in calculating the optimal spec and the optimal build, and then looking for the items. And now, the bit that kind of murkies the water in Entropia is the real cash economy thing. Now, I don't want to I don't want to downplay it, but I also want to I just want to talk about for a moment. It's like this is a game, right? It is actually a skill-based game. The more you understand about the game, the better you'll become, the more efficient you'll become, the the I don't want to say the more money you be, the more resources you will have in the game to allow you to progress further in the game and do more exciting things. And you know, so at the end of the day, it's still a game. Now the cool thing is, at the end of it all, you can take whatever resources you've built up in game, you can convert them to ped and pull them out afterwards. Now that is, again, it's not necessarily unique to Entropia, because you used to be able to sell gold in WoW, but it was against the rules. You could sell gold in Ultima Online. Again, though, it was actually against the EULA. So Entropia is kind of doing the same thing as all of those games. It's just making it legal. It's making it within the rules of the game. So it encourages you to put money in and take money out and actually invest in the game long term. So that's kind of the key difference. And I just wanted to say, you know, that a thing that a lot of people forget when they try and play Entropia, because a lot of people come into the game and the first question they ask me is, "Oh, how do I make money?" And it's like, well, okay, if you're here to make money, honestly, don't play the game. Now, you can make money, okay, over time, if you put enough hours, enough resources, and enough, you know, not necessarily putting money in, but if you're not going to put money in, it's going to be even slower. But you can make some money, but it's not going to be money that's going to change your life. It's not going to be money that's, it basically is just, if you put money in, you can probably take it out later. So if you do decide to put money in to make your life easier, you'll probably be able to take most of it out later, if not all of it, and you maybe make some. If you play the game long enough and smart enough. So you know, I wanted to just bring that back because, you know, I saw an interview with one of the guys at Mindark, and, you know, one of the, you know, the interviewer was saying, oh, but it's gambling, it's gambling, it's gambling. It's like, I mean, most games are gambling, you know. It's the only difference is this is linked to real life money. So, for example, if I go raiding in Warcraft, you know, I spend 2, 3 hours of my life for a roll on a loot table to see if I get the gear that I want. How is that any different, really? You know, that's the way I see it, and I've spent so much time in these RPGs, in these MMOs, that I think some of the arguments that people come up with are just they're because they're coming at this game in the wrong way. They're coming at it from a, oh, can you earn money at it? It's like, no, it's not you know, it's not a crypto game. It's just a game where you can legitimately, you know, take whatever you've put into it out of it at the end. And you know, of course, you get the dopamine hits when you get those, you know, globals or Hall of Fames, but you would get those in any MMO. Every MMO is designed to create scarcity, to make you want to develop your character more, put more time and resources into the game, and ultimately to give you those dopamine hits when you get the advances that you want to get. So I don't see this as any different to any other MMO. I guess the key differences that I see to this MMO against a lot of the others is the community is really tight knit. You know, I still don't really have that much of a place in it, but I've got a lot of people that I've talked to, that I've made friends with in game, and that if I have questions or anything I need to know, they'll help me out. They maybe won't tell me all their earning secrets, and I wouldn't expect them to, but they will help me out, and they'll give me their thoughts on things, and you know, try and help as much as possible. So should you play Entropia in 2025? I mean, my thought is if you like this type of game, then why not? But play it to enjoy it. Don't play it to make money. Because if you're trying to play it to make money, it will let you down. You can, but you've got to really hustle. You've got to do absolutely everything. You've got to find peak efficiency. But, you know, play it to enjoy the game. Explore. Talk to people. Get into groups. Go team hunting. Run instances. You know, explore the galaxy. I was thinking about it. You know, it's like in trade chat yesterday, Boxer was trying to sell some stuff, and you know, the Boxer's a pirate. He's a well-known pirate, and I mean, he's got me. He's got me. I think once he's actually got me where I had loot. He's got me 2 or 3 times, but I was only carrying one dung. But you know, the one time he got me, I'm like, ugh, I was trying to move something between Next Island and Calais, and he got me, and it's like, fair play to him. I mean, was I pissed? Yeah, of course I was pissed. But, you know, it's just his way of playing the game. This is an MMO. It's you play the game how you want to play it. It's like in old school Ultima, there were PKers, and if they killed you, they stole all your stuff. They did. That's how they played the game. Who am I to question how somebody else wants to play this game? It's within the rules of the game, and it actually adds to the game. You know, if there were no pirates, there would be no consequences and no risk to taking things between planets, which actually would hurt the economy because there are ways to move things. If you pay people money, you can warp and take things with you. So it would, you know, there's an economy built around avoiding pirates. So if you're gonna risk it with pirates, risk it. But then, you know, have that adrenaline as you're flying through space, wondering if, you know, you're gonna run into Boxer and he's gonna steal all your stuff. You know, that's it's the game, and I think a lot of the newer MMOs are so linear and RPG in what they're trying to do that you kind of lose you lose the grind, you lose the risk, you lose the, you know, the actual feeling and fun of the game. I can't play Warcraft anymore. I just don't find it interesting. They've taken away a lot of the personal decision making, the choices, um, and they've just made it too easy to play. And for me, I just want to play a really complicated. I want to play a complicated, complex uh, game where there's risk, there's repercussions. I mean, yeah, I mean at the moment I'm sat at 83% on this run, right? I mean, fine. I did pick up a couple of I picked up a couple of these Maludes during this run. I've just stuck them in the bank, but you know, I mean, they'll make up a bit of it, but not all of it. I'm just waiting to see if I get, you know, another global to. I mean, this is with two globals, so it's not a great run. Um, so I'm just wondering if I'm going to get another global in this run this afternoon, right? So I'm just trying to think if there was anything else I really wanted to say on this topic. But, you know, again, should you play? If you like a very sandbox, very open game where there are some quests, but most of the time they're just quests to get you go out and do things, the core things in the game. The key to the game really is just advancing your character, leveling up, making yourself more efficient, and you know that's the same as a lot of games that you'll play in your life. It's not unique to Entropia. Um, and the most complicated games will challenge you to think about what you're doing and challenge the choices you make. And again, it's one of those things. It's like in old school Ultima Online, there was nobody there to say, right, the next thing you need to do is to go get a house. It's like, didn't happen. You appeared on the world and there were no quests, and it was just, okay, what do you want to do? Who do you want to be? Do you want to be a mage? Do you want to be a fencer? Do you want to be a fighter? Do you want to be a crafter? And actually, in those days, you couldn't fight and craft. You know, you had to make a decision between one or the other. And it, I think I mean, you could run multiple characters and do different things with different characters, but which you can't do in Entropia. But then you can also build your skill sets in all different areas in Entropia. There's no, you know, blocks there. So that's my take. I really enjoy this game. It's a lot of fun. It's very open world. I do what I want to do when I want to do it. I talk to people all the time. I hang out, I craft. I come out hunting like I am today. And Entropia is, in my opinion, a very fun game, which you can play free to play if you're willing to put in extra grind. You can put money into it, and you know, the house will take a cut because they have to keep the lights on, which fine. And so you got to find ways to overcome the cut that the house is going to take. I mean, the house is going to take 5% of whatever you put, whatever you do, and whether it's crafting, mining, hunting, and effectively it's going to take 5%. Now, actually, yeah, another thing that people always kind of commented on is like, well, where's the money coming from? It's like a Ponzi scheme, and it's like, well, okay, maybe you get new players coming in, and those new players stay for a bit, and you know they're not spending big money on it. You're only spending big money on this if you're staying at it for a while. So those new players, they're coming in, they're doing a bit of sweating. It's not a game for them, and they leave, and they've maybe put 15, 20 ped into the economy, 30, whatever. You know, maybe they bought a starter kit and they've actually put real money into the economy. You know, are you know, is anybody ripping them off? No. You know, the starter kit's going to cost you $50, something like that. Any AAA game's going to cost you $50 these days, at least. And so they tried it, they didn't enjoy it. How many times have you bought a AAA game, tried it, and not enjoyed it? You can't get your money back. You know, in this, maybe you can if you've put enough in and you can sell everything, and you know you've put a little bit of time and you can get your 50 bucks back or your 100 bucks back, right? So I'd be very interested to hear people's questions or comments on this, because again, I've seen a lot of videos recently, you know, the chats in Facebook, things like that, where, you know, everybody's so down. It's like, oh, it's a rip-off. Is it, you know, it's cheating me out of money. It's not doing any of those things. It's a game, and you're paying to play the game, and you know, if you get efficient enough, lucky enough, however you want to, you know, word it, you know, if you put stuff in or you put the time and effort in, maybe you can take something out at the end of it, which is actually in this day and age a little bit more unique to this game than other MMORPGs that are out there. I mean, I still miss Ultima Online. I go back maybe once every 2-3 years, log it, you know, pay my 15 bucks to allow me to log in and access all my stuff. I play for 15 minutes, get bored, and leave, because I just don't love it anymore. You know, I used to. It was a lot of fun, and the community was good. I had a lot of friends who were playing. I actually did have a castle at one point. I'd built up so much wealth in the game that I had a castle, and you know, people used to come over and hang out, and it was good times. And that's why one of my goals in this game is to find the right house and have a place to hang out and invite people over and maybe have a shop and, you know, start looking at the next step, rather than just being a nomad that runs around killing stuff and occasionally, you know, dealing with communities and talking with communities. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Is the game worth doing? Yes, it is. It's a lot of fun if you like this kind of game. If you don't like this kind of game, don't play. Very few people are, quite honestly. But for those who really enjoy it, why do we need to, you know, there's no reason to comment or say anything negative about their enjoyment. They're enjoying playing a game, just like everybody else is with Monster Hunter or Pokemon or whatever it is that you know, whatever it is that you do that you enjoy. So see you in a future video. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this content, and yeah, please like and subscribe, and I will see you. If you are watching this video, if you've watched this video all the way through, first, thank you very much. Secondly, if you are watching this video and trying to make a decision if you want to play Entropia, make sure you check out the other new player guides. There's a lot of useful information there for a new player starting out, and you know, look for me in game, and look for, you know, anybody who's in that new area. They're not trying to swindle you for the most part, so please just talk to them. You know, they can only swindle you if you start trading and doing things that you're not 100% sure of. So, you know, just talk to people, use their knowledge, make friends, and if you're watching this trying to make that decision, I look forward to seeing you in the Entropia community. So have a great day, and I will see you in another video soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.